Hello friends, it is my pleasure to meet you in this interesting way and share with you the analysis of ARRs by the Kyoto Protocol Compliance Committee. And this is Gao from China, and I'm making this presentation on behalf of the facilitative branch of the Compliance Committee. The reason why I'm here is that the facilitative branch feels we need to discuss with the lead reviewers on how we could provide advices and facilitations to parties under the Kyoto Protocol for their implementation of the protocol, which is within our mandate as set by the 27 CMP1. And the branch has made efforts during the past years, and in last year, we developed a tool called the General Analysis and Overview Tool to assist the branch in its analysis of review reports. I would like to introduce the GAO tool to you and would like to hear your advices on how the facilitative branch could improve our work. And firstly, the tool is an Excel-based tool and has three components: a user's menu, a list of glossary, and a template. In the user's menu, we include our mandate, an introduction of the tool, the steps for using the tool, and the key reference documents. In the glossary, we have include the key terms, including the KP units, for example, the AAU, the CER, the ERU, the RMUs. I apologize that the type on this slide looks a little bit strange. And also some of the key terms in the reports, for example, the NC, the NIR, CRF, the 2006 IPCC guidelines, the GHG, the activity data emission factor, IPPU, LULUCF, and also the practice, for example, the QA/QC, what is recommendation, what is encouragement, what are those issues, and also our FB and EB. I didn't include the question of implementation because if there is any question of implementation, it should be sent by the Bureau of the Compliance Committee to either the enforcement branch or the facilitative branch. Therefore, it is not needed for us to make analysis based on the review reports. And also, we have included some key concepts and those notation keys used in the transparency framework. For example, the TAC principle, the transparency, accuracy, comparability, completeness, and consistency. And also those notation keys used, for example, NA, NE, NO, IE, and C, which are very familiar. You are very familiar with these notation keys. And for the templates, which is the main body of the tool, we have the heading, 3 sections for analysis, and the summary of suggested actions. And I will introduce how we intend to use the tool. So firstly, we will create a new sheet, namely it as a XXS, which are the country code and then the document code and also the years, and copy the template into a new sheet for use. And second, we will check if there is any question of implementation. Although we will review the last section of the main text of the ARRs or the IDRs, if there is any question of implementation. And in fact, the compliance committee should have notified of it and proceed on the basis of the decisions by the compliance committee bureau on allocation either to the facilitative branch or to the enforcement branch. And then we will identify potential areas of the advice and the facilitation. The potential areas comes from the recommendations listed in the ARRs or the IDRs of the party concerned. To facilitate the deliberation, the facilitative branch will firstly identify the category of issues according to the ARRs or IDRs, and then we will identify the sector of issue, and then we will record the place of the issue in the ARR or IDR, and then provide description of this issue. We will identify the category of issues according to the ARRs or the IDRs. For the ARRs, the categories include the transparency, consistency, comparability, including failure to use agreed reporting formats, completeness, accuracy, and adherence to the UNCCC reporting guidelines. And for the IDRs, the categories include transparency, completeness, timeliness, and adherence to reporting guidelines. This is according to Decision 13 CP20. And we will also identify the sectors for the issues. For the ARRs, the sector means the sectors of GH inventory reporting and those mandatory reporting requirements under the Kyoto Protocol, including the general, which includes the KP 10.A, the inner sector, IPPU sector, agriculture LULUCF West, and also the KP LULUCF sector, and also the KP national system, the KP registry, the KP information regarding to the Article 6, 12, and 7, and also the KP reporting requirements regarding to Article 3.14. And for the IDRs, the sectors include national circumstances, the GH inventory in the national communication, the PALMs for mitigation, projection, adaptation, FTC support, which means the finance, technology transfer, capacity building support, research, education, the PALMs for biodiversity, which is a reporting requirement under the KP guideline paragraph 13.8. We will also record the pages and issue numbers to facilitate other members and alternate members of the facilitative branch to further review. We will also describe the issue to facilitate the deliberation, either by summarizing or copying the findings of the ARRs or the IDRs. There is one thing that the FB needs to make a judgment, which is the issue of timeliness. We will review the Table 2, the summary of review results and the general assessment of the ARRs, or the Section 1B, introduction and summary of the IDRs. If the original submission is delayed for more than 3 months, then the facilitative branch will record there is an issue of timeliness, and the compliance committee or the facilitative branch may wish to take action 3, which is discussion with the party, or action 4, the sending letter to the party, or action 5, no action needed, as the ERT believes the party will address it. By the way, we have created the drop-down menus for the category of issues and also the sectors. Then we will identify the characters of potential errors, which could be significant, persistent, or systemic, and these need our judgment. I will skip from the analysis of IDRs and focus on the ARRs. We have also developed the steps of analyzing IDRs in the GAO tool. And for the ARRs, firstly, for the persistent issue, we will first read the Table 3 of the ARRs, the status of the implementation of issues and/or problems raised in the previous review report, which listed all issues that was raised in previous ARRs, as well as the status in current GHG inventory submission. There are 3 types of status: the resolved, addressing, and not resolved. We will record any issues marked as addressing or not resolved in the template. In the second column of Table 3, it shows the times that the certain issue was identified in previous ARRs. If the issue had been identified for 2 or more times in this column, that's necessary as successive 2 or more, and the issue is not marked as resolved, then we will regard this issue as persistent. Then we would suggest to hold discussions with the ERT and or the party to further understand the issue, and may also send letters to the party to see if it needs facilitation. After that, we would also check Table 4, the issue and or problems identified in 3 successive reviews and not addressed for the persistent issues. During the analysis, if there is any issue highlighted by the ERTs that needs further observation, we will record it in our tool and will not take further actions this time, but remind ourselves to come back next time. For the significant issue, it is quite difficult for the facility branch to judge if an issue is significant or not. Some of the suggestions are as follows. First, in the case that the issue is of accuracy or the party cannot demonstrate its fulfillment of obligation under the Kyoto Protocol, this could be a significant issue. Second, in the case that the issue is about the dysfunction of national system, for example, the QA/QC system, the national inventory system, the national system required under the Kyoto Protocol, the national registry, and so on, this could be a significant issue. And for those significant issues, we would suggest to hold discussions with the ERTs and or the parties to further understand the issue, unless the ERTs believe that the party will address the issue in the next submission. However, in the case that the issue is a kind of error, unless it is a QA/QC problem, or the ERT believes there will be improvement in the next reporting, then we will not take actions on that. In the case that the issue is a kind of pure technical one regarding to the calculation or reporting, for example, the choice of activity data or emission factor, that we, as the facilitative branch or compliance committee, cannot provide effective support, then we will not take further actions, and this will avoid duplication of efforts made by the ERTs. And for the others, we will also notice that the Table 5, the additional findings listed, they list new findings, and we prefer to skip from this, as there shouldn't be persistent issue in this table, and it would be difficult for us to judge if this is significant issues in this table. And then we will summarize the potential actions to be taken by the branch in the highlighted yellow areas to facilitate the discussion in the branch. And finally, we have some questions to discuss with you and wish to hear your advices. Firstly, about the persistent. As I introduced before, if there is an issue raised by 2 or more times in the review report and not resolved, we will regard it as persistent, whether it appears successively or not. We would like to hear your views if the successive is needed here, taking into consider sometimes the review practice is not undertaken annually. Also, the NIR is submitted annually. It would be easy to find persistent issue according to our criteria and could allow the party to improve in a timely manner. However, as the NC is submitted once every 4 years, if an issue was identified in the IDRs for 2 times, which means if we provide facilitation and the improvement can only be seen after 8 years since the issue was first identified by the ERTs, how could we improve the effectiveness of the facilitation? Second, about the significant. Can we have any thresholds for quantified issues and any criteria for those non-quantifiable issues? Third, how should we identify systemic issues? Should we set a threshold for how many parties having the same issue, then it will be identified as systemic issue? Should we make any judgments based on the ARRs, IDRs for one certain year or for several years? We also feel that we need to expertise on the judgment, as not all the members and alternate members of the branch are familiar with the transparency things, and maybe we can only make such judgments in the branch discussion instead of individual analysis taken by members and alternate members. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you for your attention and wish all friends good health. Thanks.